If you just came across this channel, I would love to have you here as a subscriber. I am a stay-at-home mom, homeschool. I am a loud, proud conservative. I'm a fitness enthusiast. I have a lot of great outside projects that hopefully in time I could share with the world. And if you could help out any type of way, I'd greatly appreciate it. I'm a huge voice. I'm a huge advocate when it comes to the voiceless. And I've been censored so much on social media this past year. Actually, it took me 1 year. Instagram did not delete me yet. What's up? Granted, I have to play by the rules, but this is why I made YouTube. Hopefully I can connect with some people. And at the end of the day, it's about the community. It's not about anything else. That's the only reason I got on here. I've always wanted to. I wanted to be on YouTube for the last 6 years, but I just didn't even know where to start. So if you're here, I would love to have you as a subscriber, help me grow, and just vibe with me. And hopefully this can bring some inspo, especially to the people that are just starting to homeschool, or you feel alone during homeschool, or maybe you're that one that's outcasted with the family. I got you. So for me, this video comes with a lot of heat because I've been battling a lot of heat just in my own personal life when it comes to family. But let's take it back real quick to 2020. Let's just take it back to even me getting pregnant, having a child. Never wanted to have a baby, never wanted to have a family, never wanted to get married, never was inspired to live the life that I'm living. And I'm very grateful to have the life that I'm living, but at the same time too, it does come with the price and it does come with a lot of sacrifice. I did not know where to start when it came to a child. Just in the beginning, when it came to pregnancy, you know, some people think about this, some people don't, but when I got pregnant, I'm like, I think about school, you think about college, you think about what they're gonna do with life, whatever the case. And at the end of the day, every child's a blessing, every child is entitled to life. I believe life starts from the womb. It's a beginning at conception. That's what I believe. It's not a fetus, it's a heartbeat. We'll just say that. The last few years, I felt my mental health taking a toll because I did not know what I was gonna do. I felt very disconnected. I did not want to send them to public school. Please, if you're sending your kid to public school, we're not here to attack you. We're not here to belittle you. We're not here to any of that, because right now we're living in 2021, and bottom line is everybody's opinion is offensive. You can't say nothing to nobody. So if you can't handle this video is not for everybody, but this is my truth. You know, with our son, we just didn't know what we were going to do school-wise. We were just torn. What do we do? Private Catholic school? Do we do private school? Do you do a charter school? Do you do homeschool? Am I qualified to do homeschool? Do I even know what I'm doing? I had so many battles the last couple of years, and I felt like my mental health took probably the all-time high because I was just so in my head. And with no disrespect, I couldn't align with a lot of people, let alone a lot of friends, let alone with a lot of family, because you know, people were just waiting for some type of normalcy to come back to send their kids to school. And I think people need to do what's best for their household, for their children, whatever the case is. But at the end of the day, I operate differently, and I have a different type of fire and passion when it comes to protecting our children. There were so many trafficking incidents that happened this past year that weren't even discussed during the quarantine, that weren't even put out on media. But I was sharing that information and I was wiped. What really made me homeschool? What was the icing? What was the stamp of confirmation? It was 2020, spring of 2020, or early summer. My girlfriend down the street was like, hey, we're gonna have a barbecue. There's a lot of people that didn't follow the quarantine rules. We just gonna say that. So we did a get together. We had a pool party, food, backyard barbecue, whatever. And I had a lot of anxiety that day. My husband was like, look, you need to go catch some rays, go in the pool. You love swimming, you like being out. Just go enjoy yourself. I got Malachi. I walk in, I'm mingling. Mind you, it's like the first get together in months, because prior, my birthday was in January. So that's the last time like I had to get together with people, because, you know, everybody was scared. Long story short, I ended up meeting this girl. We ended up catching a vibe. Our sons are only 1 year apart. And we started talking about school. And I was like, oh, how was school with him? Blah, 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 blah. He just finished kindergarten. And I thought she put him in school. So she told me her story. And she kind of was like trying to figure out where I was at. And I was like, oh, I'm a Trump supporter. I'm a conservative. I'm a Latina for Trump. Like, I'm not for any of this political propaganda. And she's just like, oh my gosh, thank God. So we started talking even more, and she took out her like American hat. It was just so dope. And she told me her story. She's like, I actually was enrolling my son for school the year prior, and he's not vaccinated at all. You know, she did the whole home birth, no vaccines. Totally cool. I respect that. Definitely, if I were to have another baby, I'm probably gonna consider having a home birth. I've had multiple girlfriends who've done it, and it looks like such a beautiful, remarkable experience. It's very foreign to a lot of people because we have this codependency of what we need to be doing at the hospitals, or what OBGYNs and doctors recommend and licensed physicians, but there's also holistic doctors. There's other forms of medicine that you can also consume. Anyways, I ended up vibing out with her. She told me pretty much, the nurse said, if you don't get your child vaccinated, there's a high probability that your child's probably gonna die here at this school. A school nurse, ladies and gentlemen, said that to this mother. A school nurse, mind you, for little kids. My mouth dropped. I know it sounds crazy, but I was already praying and I already felt this loss, discomfort, like what am I gonna do? When I heard her story, I knew that was it. That's what I needed. And then taking it further, I learned that my cousin actually homeschooled her 2 kids, one till high school or one till junior high and the other one till like 6th grade. And her kids came out amazing. They did. You know, she's like, Adri, seeing what you're doing here is like, she's like, you're way ahead of the game. She's like, she's like, I used to just get the paper sheets, like whatever the booklet was of the curriculum. She's like, and I make them sit at the table and that was it. But with Malachi, no, like I said, I bought this at Target. This is actually my video. I'll actually put it on the link below. I did update the area. If you want to see more of it, definitely give me some comments. But I wanted to create an area for him and let him get excited. I knew, I was like, I cannot send him. And there was an incident too. This is just besides that. I just want to share. My girlfriend lives in a very nice area in San Diego. We'll just say that. And she shared with me, mind you, some of the kids were still getting together, doing like groups together with other children. And there was a woman that was driving and she would see kids walking from house to house. And she'd be like, oh, you know, if you guys need a ride, I could, you know, if you get in the car, she's just like, we're actually taking students today to Disneyland. Mind you, the kids didn't understand the depth of what was going on in the world in 2020. There was over 5 kids that got in this vehicle because a great local citizen saw that and actually called the police and followed this woman. They were able to retrieve those children and return them back to their homes. That was never published, by the way, too. And there's numerous incidents. So why homeschool your kid? Why do that? Schools are open. All you have to do is accommodate. All you have to do is follow the CDC guidelines and wearing a mask 24/7. My child barely wore a mask in 2020. There's no way I'm gonna send him to school and force him to stay covered up. He's even told me like, Mom, I can't breathe. Mind you, my child has a speech delay. He was going through speech therapy through the public school for free. I actually milked that part because, you know, we do pay taxes on it. I did it a couple years ago. I was going with him. Overall, it was going pretty positive. Going back though to the public school, when I just wanted to see a follow-up what it was like, they pretty much said he has to be masked up with a shield. How do you know if he's moving his mouth? How do you know if he's enunciating the words right? When he does Spanish class with me online, because his teacher's in Mexico, she needs to see how he moves his mouth. So how is a therapist? And I ended up meeting a therapist recently at the park. When she heard this, she was just appalled and she ended up resigning from the school. I'm telling you, we are just going through a whole shift because right now, more than anything, the state is winning. They did play a very great role when it came to the school system. And everybody has this mentality, well, you know, I have to work. I understand inflation's high and it's ridiculous and we all have to work, but it's doable. The government wants you to think like, oh, well, you know, you have to send your kids to school. Why wouldn't you? It's free. It's free. We have after school programs. We have X, Y, and Z, blah, 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 blah. There's great teachers in public school. I am not discrediting. There's some amazing teachers and there's teachers that are fighting for students right now. But there's also quite a few that are groomed that are going to go with what the propaganda is being pushed on our children. Bottom line. And I refuse to comply with the government. They don't get to have the last word and the best say when it comes to my child. And I always tell this too. I never thought I would even be talking about this. I would never thought I would be political about this. But when it comes to our children, save the children, it starts with us as parents. It starts from the home. People don't realize how many videos that were released just in 2020. How many videos did we see of literally bus drivers attacking, slapping children, teachers sending children out? We have children that are fighting to not wear a mask, but they're getting numerous suspensions. What about the kids that are going across? You can't wear that to school. It's really offensive to me. Oh, the American flag. Oh, your parents are definitely racist. They're Republican. I had somebody pick up my couches recently, and it was a girlfriend's relative. And what is the first thing he says? I was like, oh, I could tell you guys are Republican. Republican and conservative are 2 different categories, but you went to college, right? Oh, you went to a 4-year? Yeah, institution. We know exactly what you taught, what you learned. People don't want to hear the truth, though. My son has long hair. He has long hair. He's mixed. He's Polynesian Hispanic. But because of the way he looks, it's just like, oh my goodness, your son could be a little girl today if he wants to. He could be a princess. No, he's a boy. He will tell you, Mom, I'm a male. They're grooming your children. They're sexualizing and they're normalizing sexual behavior more than ever. And it's in the cartoons. It's in the cartoons. I don't let my child watch SpongeBob. I don't let my child watch certain movies. I don't let him watch none of that. I have to be super hypersensitive because they're trying to find any little nick to get to your child, whether you want to or not. So why send them to school? Look, I get you have to work. I get we got bills. Trust me, I get the struggle. I'm living it too right now. But I've encountered mothers who have more than 4 kids and they're making it work. I've encountered single mothers from across the states in the East Coast, women in New York I've connected with that are single mothers that are working and they're keeping their kids home. I will make another video how you can get creative when it comes to homeschool. Trust me, because I used to be that. I used to be like, how am I going to do it? Like, I got to work. I have this, I have that, and I have to train. No, you could do it. You get to create the life that you want. You don't have to comply with these you-know-whats. You don't. You could be better. You could be different. But that's the thing. That's the thing. They don't want you to be different. They want you to roll and be scared of what they're putting out there. You gotta comply. Otherwise, it's not gonna work for you. I'm telling you, no, you don't. You know, before going to school, it's like, oh, I wonder what they're gonna encourage him. You know, do you wanna be a teacher? You know, a law enforcement officer to help somebody, you know, working as a post office, being a musician. Those are all gone. The bulk of what they're teaching our children is not only just absolutely nothing, they're grooming them about safety and health when it comes to washing their hands and disinfecting, but the bulk of it's environmental policy. How many kids do we see just through the whole level of what BLM did this past year in 2020? There were so many parents out there with kids, support, systematic racism, racial theory. That is all being groomed. You have Black Lives Matter classes that are being taught in junior highs. And parents are okay with it. Because why? Because they don't want to deal with their children. It is harder to unteach your child than to teach your child. Trust me. It is. I can't tell you how many times when we go out to restaurants, my son and I'm like, okay, baby, bless the food, you know, and he'll say his little prayer. And you know how many people just, and I don't want him to be quiet. He's a little loud, like me, but there's nothing wrong with that. They're taking out religion. They're taking out the appreciation of the American flag. We used to stand for the American flag. We honored the flag before we started class. Malachi's learning that right now. He's not going to learn that at a public school. He's not going to learn that in a public school. It's our job as parents. They're being taught to hate America. And I took it even further. Not only has homeschool went up in the minority community 30%, but the children are getting dumber. I mean, let's be real. I think standardized testing they took out, right? I mean, just the depth of it. They took out standardized testing. They're testing dumber. I think the lowest in math was the last one it was a 37 or 36 in math. I mean, that's horrible. I remember in college too, but like high school, like I hate math. I did not like it. You know what I mean? But I had to learn it. I would go to tutoring. I figured it out. There's no motivation anymore for these kids. So my husband's in a family of 12. I married the baby, number 12. Just the first couple that went to these schools out in Berkeley and up north, they're exactly what the teachers are teaching them. Pretty much their parents know nothing because they come back with this entitlement, belittling their parents, but yet they came from nothing. They came from nothing. My husband went to a university, but it's not the same frequency of what the demand of education is compared to the other ones that went to the ones in Berkeley and so forth in San Francisco. Okay. You see it in cartoons. You see it in movies. They want to start bringing, a gay princess or whatever at Disneyland. Biology 101, that's out the window. There's no such thing as male and female. There's no such thing as pregnant women. It's pregnant person. It's menstruating person. He does not need to learn that. Biology 101, it's so simple. But guess what they're wiping out? Trust the totalitarian science, though, right? Multiple genders, multiple everything, multiple pronouns. No, children need to be learning their ABCs, their 1, 2, 3s, their animals, their pronouns. No. There are 3 different types of parents in the world. You got the parents that are woke, that are fighting. You got the parents that are Luke, and they're just gonna smile and sweep it under the rug and act like that's not going on. Oh no, my daughter goes to a very great school. We live in a nice neighborhood. It does not matter. So many parents don't even know what their children are learning. They don't even know what bills have been passed because they don't want to deal with their kids. I have cousins right now that are going through it with their own parents. And you know what? It makes sense because when I see their posts on social media, they're BLM supporters. Pretty much, I'm a white supremacist. And pretty much law enforcement is garbage, but yet nobody knows the depth of what, let me tell you right now, there's good and bad in everything, whether it's law enforcement, medical, private businesses, there's good and evil everywhere, even at church. But we're getting groomed with the people that are there to help us. They're all pretty much demonized, right? And of course, you got the parents who just don't care. Don't care. And I hate to say it, but there was girls that I thought were really cool in my life. They don't care about their children. They're going to choose a narcissistic, toxic man than actually taking care of their children. And it's common. I have that in my family too. Nobody want to talk about it. We're just going to sweep it under the rug. But because I'm doing something different, shame on you. You're isolating your child. He doesn't even have any social skills or this or that. There's so many ways to get creative when it comes to homeschool. That's what I'm saying. When I started learning this and I really started educating myself and I really just started taking a leap of faith just when it comes to me, you have so much power, baby. You have no idea. But the government wants weak-minded people. The government wants people that are not going to fight back. So why not start with the youth? It's easy. It's easy. It's vulnerable. It's not. It's costing your child. I'm telling you right now, take a step back. If you are questioning to homeschool, this is your calling to do it. Do it now more than ever, because people don't realize we're in the most complicated time right now with America. And if we don't take the stand now, fight more than ever for our children, especially what they're pushing on them, America will fall and it'll never come back. We are fighting for our freedom right now more than ever. But save the children. It's not just those children under the tunnels. It's not just those children at the border. It's not just those children that are coming across the road and getting flown in by other countries because of these elites. No, it starts with our kids. Save the children starts with us. Pull your kids out. I'm telling you, you don't have to sit them here for 6 hours. The schools are like prison. Isolated, spread out. I mean, the mask, like, no, that's not a way to live. But most importantly, look at what they're teaching them. They will learn so much from you. If you got to work all week and in the evenings, a couple nights, do your homework and school on the weekends, baby, you just did it. But see, you got to take out this whole mentality that you got to do school for X amount of hours. That's not realistic. I have a kindergartner. I only do a little bit at a time. I do creative days. And there's days that I just feel disconnected too, just with myself. I'm like, you know what? We're going to go on an adventure. There's so many free access places when it comes to the libraries, just private kid events, local events. I mean, just even community zoos. There's so many things you could do with them. But the government wants to teach your children. They want to be the parent. I mean, I actually stopped talking to somebody recently, but I learned that pretty much her daughter was feeling kind of ill. Mind you, there's still other sicknesses besides COVID. Okay, she ended up having like a stomach bug and she had a headache. The mom pulled her from school, left the hospital. Mind you, they're very opposite of me. We'll just say that. No judgment. And she ended up giving her daughter some Tylenol or whatever because of what the mother gave her daughter. They said, well, you're going to have to test your daughter for COVID testing. Keep her home for the next 4 days. So now she has to stay home because of this. But I thought the government was there. I thought the schools were there to help. That's what they want you to think. Now is the time, parents, to rise and to fight. We outnumber them. They need us. That school doesn't get funded unless there's bodies. Pull your kids out. You can do it. You got so much more to gain. And people think right away. And then that's the thing too. You know, what blows my mind is that people are just like, well, you know, like, I don't have the patience like you or whatever. You don't think I got patience? I'm human. I have days where I have a short fuse. There's days, like I said, I'll get up at 5 a.m. I go do my training session. And guess what? I go back into super mom mode. And I got to teach this little boy. Because it's my job as a parent. It's my job as a parent. It's your job as a parent to protect your child. And people don't want to hear it, but public schools are straight indoctrination camps, worse than ever. And there's so much more depth I can go into, but I just really wanted to put this out there. If you're thinking about it, do it. If you're curious about it, do it. You're going to figure it out. There's no right way. That's the best part. You're still winning at the end because you're not complying with them. It's okay to walk different. Be the change. Show your child the true lion that you are. Because we're not sheep over here. Thank you guys so much for listening to this video. I will definitely put the link on the bottom for my little mini homeschool section. I did update it. We're actually, after the holidays this December, we're actually getting a storage. I'm really excited because we're going to put all our decorations. So I'm actually going to maximize an area for all my school essentials. I might even put this out there. I'm actually going to put new spacing. So I'm really excited about that. I'll definitely share that with you. I really hope this video gave some light and love to somebody. If your children are going to public school, I'm not here to put you down as a parent. I'm not here to shame you. I'm not here to do any of that. But people think the way I talk and the way I could be, they say I belittle people. I don't know how, because I'm not insulting you. I'm just talking about factual information. But like I said, pretty much people that have intelligence, that have facts, are being shamed because it's protecting those that hurt their feelings. That's just what it is. Bottom line is, as long as your child's protected, they're learning, they're thriving, and you're being hypersensitive to what they're being taught at school, I think you're doing an amazing job as a parent. But to those that are homeschooling and we're choosing to walk a different light, we're choosing to walk a different path, it comes with a very dark road of loneliness, isolation, and you get outcasted and judged. So I'm willing to take that as long as I got to protect this little boy, because he will not be a part of what they're pushing on our children today. But I hope this video gives you some love, it gives you some peace, and just know that there are some fire patriots out here that are fighting for their children, that are willing to walk a different road. It does not matter how many bullets come for me. I will go through the fires until I can't walk no more. So until the next video to you guys, thank you so much. Have a blessed day, and you're an amazing parent, no matter what you choose.